So when it comes to Revenant Hordes here, I'm going to split up the video into rocketing Revenant Hordes versus BFGing Revenant Hordes, because the dynamics are a little bit different, and most mappers know your limits when you have a rocket launcher versus when you have a BFG, and so the situations will be different. So when it comes to rocketing, right, typically, hopefully you have enough space to dodge the homing missiles, but the main thing in a situation like this is don't let the non-homing missiles crisscross and trick you and get you confused, right? Because as you get enough experience in the game, right, you'll get that circular motion down. Homing missiles won't be as much of a problem, but the non-homing missiles, as you saw on my left there, you might have noticed like I had to slow my movement down just so I don't run into them. It takes time to get that down, and yeah, you'll mess it up, of course, but it takes time to get that down, and that'll just come with experience. Try to spend a lot of time in front of Revenant Hordes, and try to think about that as you're playing. As you notice non-homing missiles, remember what I said, see what you can do, and do it better than that, and you should be alright. 225 hit points to spare. Could be better, but oh well. Yeah. So next up, I'm going to show you some 20xE7. Yeah, so let's go ahead and save. And I purposely put myself in a bad position here for the fight. So something about rocketing Revenants is you can't miss too many rockets. Of course, if it's a level playing field, you're not going to have to deal with that, but yeah, you definitely don't want to miss too many rockets. You want to try to take out the guys that are like the closest to you first, and that's why I was killing the ones that were coming from the teleporter that's like over there to my right. And when it comes to the movement, you got to keep in mind the rev missiles that are behind you, and just try to track them all down in your mind. Try to track down the where they're gonna be next, right? Alright, so if I'm up here and I had a bunch of non-homing missiles, right? The homing missiles will probably just go up and hit this wall, or maybe turn around and I'll see them again. But the non-homing missiles, they're gonna be moving in this direction, and you can back up too fast and just run into like 2 or 3 80 damage, right? And that's gonna hurt. So that'll make all the difference in the world. And another thing that always used to happen to me when I would do this particular fight is I would just get overwhelmed by the Revenants. Now, getting overwhelmed, if you're in a position where you can run around behind them, which I'll show Dimensions Map 1 for that, you can do that, but to prevent that, you gotta shoot into the crowds. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Let me go ahead and pull up Dimensions Map 1, or Map 3. Who's ready to watch me die? Because I'm grinding this map right now, so. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'm already in trouble because I didn't make it to that armor, but whatever. Yeah. Let me try to get that started much better. This is a fight right here that is a real test. It's one of the hardest Revenant Hordes that I can think of, especially involving that paint elemental there. You see that? I was just from experience, I'm able to stand in front of them and dodge them more than I did in the past. But yeah, still. So here I am, I'm overwhelmed, and now it's time to run past and try to cut down the numbers like this. Or just take, what was it? At least 70 or 80 damage there. See if we can win it this time. keeping track of them in my mind again. When they're close, this is something I continue to struggle with. I need to stop rocketing my face when they're close. Keep trying to do some damage to them and cut down the numbers, but it's not as important as preventing that splash damage. Because at this point, one of those can kill me. See, they're too close. Choose not to shoot a rocket. Now I can shoot a rocket. Yeah. Well, of course, anybody that's at my streams knows that I mess this up all the time, so yeah. I wanted to show that also in this video. Yeah, that's that. And of course there's this move right here. When you're punching revenants, when they stun, back up. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. The classic Revenant Horde. Oh, and we can review two-shotting Cyber Demons. Who's gonna have the balls to do this after getting this far, right? Anyways, no, I did not play this map. This is in Caligon's demo that I made a save from, and now I'm playing because I don't like this map. Anyways, I do like this end fight though. It's a very good example of BFGing Revenants, and this is going to be more about hiding and using the corners, using walls, because when you're rocketing Revenants, you can stand in front of them and, you know, rockets do the same amount of damage from any range, so you can just stay back and dodge everything. But with BFG, you know, especially in a fight like this where you're getting overwhelmed and you really need to keep them back, you got to peek around the corners and you got to do the most efficient shots possible, so you got to get close. And if you get close and just try to BFG them, you know, you're going to stun them all. And when they stun, they shoot. So you're going to stun, you can have a wall of missiles. And this is why we hide. And you see everyone do like 2 shots here, or maybe 3 or 4 or whatever. And then they hide, right? So let's go. $80 damage. Why not, right? Oh yeah. Oh, and Cybers now, so we gotta chill. Now I'm curious why I was down to just Cybers. Like, it never looks like that when I see other people doing it. But oh well. Yeah, so you saw what I was doing, right? I was hiding, pretty much just doing that maneuver. Just in and out, spraying them down. And then eventually I came back here because I was getting too overwhelmed, right? I came back here and I managed to just take them all out at this position. I don't know if that's typical or not, but if I did get overwhelmed even more, I would start coming back here and trying to peek around the corners. I would not go in here because of the Cybers, but I would start peeking around the corners. Really is the best way of doing it. Yeah, and I got one more example from you, and that is 20xc7 map 9. Alright, so here's the fight that I'm looking for. Horde of Revenants back there. You might have seen this before. But here we go. So for this particular fight, I have to make sure all the Revenants wake up, and that's the only reason I'm doing this. Not all fights will force you to do that, but yeah. You can start doing some damage trying to shoot rockets or whatever, but I don't see that it makes much of a difference. But yeah, that's one thing that's really hard about this fight. You're not able to take cover as much. Even though you, I try to use that thing on the left. Yeah, then eventually pull them out far enough and you gotta run around behind them. So it's just like with rocketing the Revenants, right? There are some examples where you can just stay in front of them all, but other times it's just too many. The arena is not big enough, you just gotta run around behind them. In this particular fight, you gotta make sure you save ammo for when you run around. Yeah. Yeah, having this as late into the D2 wall as it was a lot of pressure, but hopefully it makes sense what I'm getting at, trying to use the walls there at the beginning. It's mostly the beginning where it kind of resembles the no chance example. And you can do some rocketing. And at that point, the fight is pretty much won. Just gotta keep whittling them down and try not to get zapped too much. Yeah, hopefully that made sense. Alright, so I'm a big believer in applying your knowledge, and we know how to rocket and BFG Revenants now. So in a fight like this, we're going to have a horde of Revenants platforming, and when you look on the ground, you're going to see gold. That's safe to run on, and the brown is not. So let's do this. That whole thing about that circular motion still applies here. But a lot of the challenge mappers like to put in these days is flying enemies that block your movement. And other things that mess up your movement too, like platforming. But yeah, these flying enemies are coming. I need to go and address that real quick. And the fight's not over yet. Do I still have Revenant missiles chasing me? No? Okay, I can stop moving. Gotta keep that in mind in fights like this, always. Because you can be done with the fight, and then you can be going to press the switch or whatever, going to the exit. Yeah, I win, and then boom, jump scare, and you're dead. So keep that in mind. Another example here, I already got the fight started. The Cyber is rocketing those things down, those flying enemies. And I got the Revenants coming in from the side. And see if we can apply our knowledge. Okay. See what I'm talking about with the flying enemies? Gets to a point where you're now rocketing Revenants, and you're susceptible to rocketing your face. Getting stuck like that, and eating a bunch of Rev missiles. Yeah, so my mistake there was I really should have taken out the flying enemies more, or just use more BFG basically. But yeah, applying your knowledge there. And I got one more fight, the end fight here. So this one, Archviles, Revenants, Cybers, flying enemies, it's got it all. And if I die, I'm just gonna let you see me die. So here we go. So here we have to rocket some Revenants. This is just the way I do it in this fight. I just try to cut the numbers down, make my life a little bit easier. I've seen people do this fight a lot of different ways. I've seen them just go back and forth between the teleporter. Kinetic doesn't even use the teleporter in this fight. Yeah. Sure. Okay, let's try that again, and I'll point out what my mistake was here. I'll correct it real quick. I figure since it's a Revenant Horde video, my mistake had nothing to do with Revenant Hordes, I'll just redo it. I stayed at the Revenants too long, that was the problem, and I needed to work the infighting between the Cybers and the flying enemies way better than I did. So that's what I'm doing now. Alright, and now it's time to just start spraying stuff down. Felt like I was stuck on a lost soul there, I think. Alright, and now it's just a Revenant Horde. Just, right? Just a Revenant Horde. Don't die, Lamau. And now, you apply your knowledge. Do your best not to take the non-homings like that one. You see how I went to BFG them? It's really just not doable to dodge all of them when you're BFGing, and so that's why I always recommend that you hide. At this point, I think the best move is to like just go up here quickly, go for this mega. Yeah, for sure. Yep, and it's done. And I have no ammo, right? I think there's ammo on the other side though, but yeah, the fight is won like that. Oh, nice. That was pretty convenient. But yeah, so applying your knowledge there, the main things were, like, I got over here and I was at maybe 100 health. So now every missile matters because just crap happens. And it's like, well, if you're good at Revenant missiles, well now you can rely on yourself to not take damage from those. And you can focus on all the other elements of the fight, right? Cutting them down, trying to make my way, give myself a way to get to these Megasphere and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. I wonder what the last monster is, by the way. That's strange. Oh well, yeah, this is a demo by Killer 5. This is demo that I used to make the save from. Yeah, I don't know what the last enemy is. That's so weird. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Kind of wish I first tried that ending, but it's all good. Hope you enjoyed that. Till next time, peace.